Okay, we are almost finished. 2 more problems. I know it was a lot of examples, but I wanted to make sure that you had at least one of each kind that you would see on the homework. Okay, problem O. Looks like a long one, but again, if you just start with those list of steps that I gave you, we do have parentheses to clear. Okay, so that's the first step I'm going to do. Distribute this 3. So 3 times 5x would be 15x. 3 times negative 1 would be negative 3. And then everything else I'm going to bring down exactly like it is. Okay? Then we look at the next step, which says simplify each side of the equation. So again, I would cover up the side. We have like terms, the negative 3 and the negative 2. So I can combine, bring down the 15x. Those two would combine to just be negative 5. Okay, remember we're not changing any signs because we haven't moved anything across the equal sign. Bring down the equal sign, and then here on the right side, I have like terms. Okay, I have a 2 and a 1. I could go ahead and combine that to be 3, and then plus 13x. And so then it's simplified a little bit more now. So we look at moving the variables to the left. So I have a 15x already here. I want to move the 13x over. It's a positive, so when I move it over, it's going to be a negative. We already have the 3 on the right, so I want to move the 5 over. It's a negative, so when I move it over, it's going to be a positive. So 15x minus 13x would be 2x. 3 plus 5 would be 8. So then we're down to the last step. Divide by the number that's in front of your variable. So we divide both sides by 2. 2's divide out. X is equal to 8 divided by 2, which would be 4. Okay, so my solution would be X is equal to 4. So not so bad as it looked from the beginning. Just be really careful with your signs and with your sign rules. Okay, last problem is one that contains decimals, and there are a few like this on the homework. You got 1.7 minus 0.4x is equal to 0.1x plus 2.7. Now there's 2 ways you can look at this problem. You can keep the decimals in here and just work with the decimals, or you can get rid of the decimals, and that's what the examples on the homework is going to tell you to do. Okay, so to get rid of the decimals, you have to look at how many decimal places you have in the problem. So each term just has one decimal place, which is the tenths place. So to get rid of that decimal, what I can do is multiply every term by 10. Okay, whatever place value you have in the problem, that's what you would multiply by. So if I had hundredths, which would be 2 decimal places, I would multiply by 100. Okay, so multiplying by 10 times 1.7 is just going to move this decimal place over 1. So instead of 1.7, this would just be 17. And then it's going to do the same thing here. 10 times 0.4, it's just going to move that decimal over 1 place. So that would just be minus 4x. 10 times 0.1 moves the decimal 1 place to the right. So that would just be 1x. And then 10 times 2.7 would just make that be 27. Okay, so this just looks a little bit easier to work with than having all those decimals in the problem. We still follow our same rules, so that means I already have a negative 4x. I want to bring the x over, so it's going to be a negative x. I already have a 27 on the right. Bring the 17 over. Now the 17 is positive on this side. When I bring it over, it's going to be negative. Combine negative 4x and negative x would be negative 5x. 27 and negative 17 would be positive 10. And then your last step, divide by the number in front of your variable, which is negative 5. So when I divide these out, positive x is equal to 10 divided by negative 5, which would be negative 2. Okay, so that would be my solution. And even if you worked it out with the decimals in the problem, you should still get this same answer. Okay, so hopefully I've given you enough examples so you can go back, look over these as many times as you need to. Hopefully my voice is not too bad. I've had a cold this week, so I apologize for that. But like I said, hopefully you have at least one of each kind that you would see on the homework. Okay, so this is the end of sections 2.1 and 2.2.